Oh shoot, I have low fuel. But anyways, I'm thinking about something that has been brought up to me a couple times this past week, because I've been working a lot. So I've been around a lot of people that I'm not usually around, and I guess I'm just so used to being around people who understand being vegan. So I've been vegan for going on 3 years, and I'm not perfect, sometimes I slip. Usually if I'm in Mexico and like somebody hands me a concha, like I'm gonna take a bite, like, okay, fucking sue me, kill me, whatever. But I had somebody at one of my jobs ask me why I became vegan. And I told them that the reason why was honestly because I was dating somebody who was vegan and I had a lot of roommates and some of them were vegan. So it just I was just around it, I guess. And I have a lot of vegan friends. Like, I genuinely think I have more vegan friends than non-vegan friends. I could probably count how many non-vegan friends I have. And it's because I'm part of, the hardcore punk community. And it's just a thing that, like, everybody does. And it's 100% a trend, but it's probably the coolest trend you could be a part of. Living a cruelty-free lifestyle, it's, like, really badass, in my opinion. And it's kind of fun to, like, go somewhere, like a restaurant or a new city, a new town, and have to read every single item or find the one thing that you can eat if it's not a vegan restaurant. But the reason why I became vegan was because of that, just because I was dating somebody that was vegan. And then eventually they ended up, breaking vegan and going back to being an omnivore. But I stayed vegan because it was easy. And that's really the part of the conversation that I didn't want to have with this person was the second half of that, which was the fact that it's so fucking easy to do. So it was almost like, what's my excuse really if it's so easy? And I, just like everybody else, is a lazy person. Like, I'm a hustler. I have 3 jobs. I go to grad school and I try to find time for my friends and art and all this crap. But I'm also a very lazy person. So I don't like to put effort into things that I shouldn't put effort into. So for example, me going into the grocery store right now as a vegan, I don't have to work harder and I don't have to spend more money as a vegan. A lot of things are already naturally vegan, like rice, beans, tortillas, grains, nuts. Like, everything is so easy to find already in a regular grocery store that I don't have to work harder. And it kind of makes me think about other types of activism and the reason why I choose veganism. And one of the things that this woman said to me this past week when she asked me why I was vegan was, what about human problems, right? So if you're doing it for the animals, because eventually, after a while of being vegan, if you're just vegan because it's easy or because all your friends are vegan, eventually it does become about the animals and it does become about living a cruelty-free lifestyle. And that's kind of like where I'm at now after a few years of being pretty serious about it. This woman was like, what about human issues? There's so many things wrong and there's so many people dying, and why don't you put your energy towards them instead of animals who can't speak, who can't contribute to society and all this crap. And that's the part of it that I just went, I don't know, and it was mostly because I didn't want to have this conversation with this woman because I don't know her, so I don't give a fuck what she thinks. But my 2 cents on that, I guess, is kind of like picking your battles, I guess. So ideally, yes, every single one of us would fight for every single injustice in this world, across the world, but it's just not a realistic thing. And because we are such, self-involved, egotistical people, we are the center of our own universe, and that's just semi-fact across the board. Like, everybody is the protagonist of their movie. Everybody's Harry Potter. Like, nobody thinks that there's some secondary character. Everybody thinks that they're the center of the world, so their world is as big as them, right? So a lot of times we can't find empathy or sympathy for other things or other people or other situations because they're not directly affecting us. But the people who do go out and engage in activism, like go out and protest and do marches and walks and, you know, show up to city hall meetings and travel across the world and dedicate like 2 years of their lives in the Peace Corps to, you know, serve, you know, children with diseases and stuff like that. Now, yeah, those people are exceptional people, right? But the majority of us don't do that. It's unfortunate, but it's the truth. And veganism is one of those things that you don't have to leave your house to do. You don't have to spend more money than you already do. It's super cheap to be vegan. And that's a fucking fact. Fucking fight me about it. Especially if you're shopping for yourself. I am in my 20s. I'm 26 years old. And the majority of the people, I guess, that I'm speaking to right now are also probably in their 20s or 30s. So they're probably shopping, you know, for the most part, just for themselves. And that's a pretty inexpensive lifestyle. Like, I've been serving families for about 7 or 8 years in their homes, and I see what people eat, and it's not any cheaper than what a vegan family would eat or what a vegan individual would eat. It's the same shit. It's cheaper than a rack of chicken breast, you know, to buy a bunch of, you know, veggie patties or a bunch of frozen veggies or fresh veggies and fruit and grains and all this crap. Like, it's all the same shit, but I digress. So my point is that veganism is a type of activism that doesn't take any effort. And since we are such inherently lazy people, it's like the perfect way to, you know, engage in activism for many different things. You are helping indirectly and directly helping the environment, deforestation, cruelty of animals, you know, conditions of farmers, and a lot of different things that you're helping out just by doing not doing that much, right? So it goes down to like, do your part. It's like, if you don't want to go out and do a bunch of marches and donate to a bunch of like nonprofits and stuff like that, then at your house, in your life, in your routine that you already have, do your part. You know, something as simple as like, when you're walking down the street and you see a piece of trash in front of you, don't step over it. Just fucking pick it up. And I know it sounds really cheesy, like, do your part, like, we're all in this together. And it's like, if a million people all do one act of kindness, then the world is gonna be a better place. And I know that sounds super fucking corny, but it's fucking true. Like, I don't give a fuck. It's true. And this is something that I do at my full-time job, because I'm a healthcare assistant, like during the day, I guess. So I follow around this high schooler with special needs. Specifically, I'm not going to go into like his specific situation, but he's in a wheelchair and he goes to general education classes. So I follow him around his classes, and he has an electrical chair, so I don't have to push him. So a lot of the time I'm just walking next to him, and I figured that I would put myself to use. So I started by just picking up trash that was around me, like in my path. Like, instead of kicking a milk carton, I would just pick it up and throw it away. And then my student started asking me about it. He's like, why do you do that? And I said, well, because it's in front of me, so, you know, why not? Why would I step over if I can just pick it up? It's not costing me any more effort than just walking on top of it or stepping over it. So then he started pointing out trash like across the pavilion or across the room or whatever, being like, oh look, there's trash over there, and he would make me run and go get it and throw it away. So anyways, yeah, I'm like a firm believer in just kind of do your part, because if you're not gonna dedicate your whole entire life to being an activist and changing the whole entire universe, then at least fucking just try a little bit. And it's not going to change your life. It's not going to break your back. It's not going to kill you to do something small. And I'm not saying that everybody should be vegan, but at least fucking pick up trash. I don't know. But, you know, for another point of advice, don't tell vegans that what they're doing is stupid. Just fucking let vegans be, please. Leave them alone. If you want to try it. But don't just buy a bunch of vegan brands and then say it all sucked and it didn't taste like the real thing, because it's not supposed to taste like a real thing. It's its own thing. Like, meat substitutes are not meat. They're not supposed to taste like meat. They're not supposed to be meat. So of course they're not going to be the same thing. It's not a lesser version. It's just made of other food. There's other food on this planet other than meat and dairy, I fucking promise. And if you have an asshole vegan in your life, tell them they're an asshole. But respect what they're doing, because, you know, they're putting effort into something that you're not putting effort into. Anyways, I talked about a whole lot of nothing, but that woman made me think about how I'm just doing my part, I guess, and that's none of her fucking business to question why I'm not, you know, saving the rest of the world. It's like, I'm doing something. I'm doing what I can. Like, I literally look at the t-shirt on your back. The cotton t-shirt on your back costs like maybe 10 gallons of water to make, and the suffering of whole communities in like India or wherever your fucking cotton t-shirt came from, and it's causing like so much pollution in their drains and in their water supply that it's causing real severe birth defects in those communities, congenital heart failure, like facial cranial deformities. Like, your t-shirt did that. So I don't see you going out there and being an activist and protesting against cotton t-shirts with a fucking logo on it that says, you know, be your own boss or whatever. You know, that's the type of shit that pisses me off. It's like, I'm sorry, but I'm doing like a teeny tiny part by just being vegan, by not putting that much more effort into my life other than reading a fucking label. And, you know, you're trying to call me out, but in reality, everything around you is causing suffering to somebody. And I can't fucking save the world. I'm not gonna stop wearing cotton t-shirts. You know, here and there I might shop from a sustainable brand, but that's really expensive. That would be going outside of my normal routine. And me, as a privileged American, I don't want to go outside of my normal routine. And I think veganism is the fucking easiest thing I could do. I'm a privileged as, you know, 20-something-year-old living in San Diego, California. I have vegan shit all around me. So for people to tell me, why are you vegan? What about other problems? What about children that are being trafficked for sex work? Well, you're right. But are you doing something about it? No, we're all shitty. I'm sorry. Like, I fucking try. At least I'm going to school and, you know, listening to whenever there's like a speaker about, you know, sex trafficking or survivors and stuff like that. I'm there. I'm listening. And I'm looking out for signs. I work with children now. I'm dedicating my entire career to work with kids. And I look for all the signs. I advocate for my kids. I make sure that I don't take allegations. I do take allegations seriously. If a kid is joking about wanting to die, if a kid is joking about having sex with a 37-year-old, I take that very seriously. So in a way, I am doing my part in that as well. But that's what I mean. Like, whatever you do doesn't have to kill you. I also unplug all my shit at night. I unplug all my electronics. So my SDG&E bill is literally $14 a month. So suck it. I'm a fucking activist. I'm just playing. All right, I'm gonna stop talking to myself now.